Hi everybody and welcome to Tuesday's lesson. So that's lesson 15. We're still learning about teeth. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh. Right then. So for today's lesson, there should be, you need the printout that looks like this. This first section here is on our PowerPoint. Then I've got a load of skulls there. They've got what animal they are, whether they're a herbivore, omnivore or carnivore. We'll go over that in a bit. And then it's got some questions on them. Here is some information about animals, about herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, about whales, elephants and sharks, because they have quite special teeth, quite unique teeth. Here there's some skulls, skull of a sheep, a human and a lion. Now there are two tasks today. One is this section here doing these questions, and the second one is to create a poster or leaflet or PowerPoint or something about teeth, about different teeth, how animals have different teeth depending on their diet. So I thought this information would be helpful to you. It's actually from the Espresso website, so if you want to just go on Espresso you can do that yourself. These pictures here, if you were making a poster, I thought they'd be quite helpful. You could cut them out and stick them on your poster or in your book. And then the further learning, there was some information there about the inside of a tooth, and so like what makes up a tooth. Now we don't have to do that as this part of the topic, but I just thought you might be quite interested in it. I find it quite interesting. So that's obviously zoomed out quite a lot so that you can see all 3 pages. And then we also need our PowerPoint. Now it's the same PowerPoint from yesterday. I've just got some extra bits at the end, and so I'm just making a note for myself. So let's go. I'm going to make it into PowerPoint mode because otherwise some special bits don't work. Okay, lesson 15 then. Do other animals have the same type of teeth as humans? Why and why not? So we're going to be looking at, in particular, some quite a few mammals, but do have a think about other animals too. So food and teeth. In previous years of learning, you will have learned about herbivores, carnivores and omnivores, but I'll just give you a quick recap. So a herbivore is an animal that eats plants. So for example, a sheep, a horse, a cow, they all eat grass. A giraffe eats trees and leaves and things. They are all herbivores, they eat plants only. Then you've got carnivores who eat meat only. So a lion, a hyena, a tiger, things like that. So, and then you've got an omnivore. So they eat a mixture of plants and meat. Now humans are omnivores. Obviously you get some humans that are vegetarian or vegan, so they don't eat meat, and I know that. But generally speaking, humans as a whole are omnivores. Their diet, their teeth, everything is evolved to eat both plants and meat. Now you might think, well, we don't eat grass, but plants include vegetables, fruit, corn, things like bread is made from a plant. Okay, so that's just a quick insight into it. Now, obviously we can't talk with our partners, but you could have a think about how does the food the animal eat affect the teeth it will have? What similarities and differences do you notice? So looking at those 3 pictures now, they've all got teeth. They've actually all got incisors and molars. No, kind of ish, not really. They all have front teeth, back teeth. But what is different about them? What is the same about them? Pause it now and then have a little think about that. Okay, welcome back. So I'm going to click on each of the skulls and we're going to be able to look at it in a bigger version of it. So here we go. I'm going to start with this one. We'll find out what it is, I think. Oh yeah, it's a sheep skull. Okay, so it's got a pad. See, this I didn't know. I thought they would just have incisors at the top and the bottom, but they have a pad of gum there and the incisors. So think about what they eat, what these incisors would be doing. There's a big space here, but then what do you think happens here? So you've got the premolars and the molars. They're really big compared with the adult one, compared with human ones. But think about their diet. What do they eat? So what do they need to do? Lots of crushing of, lots of grinding. Okay, so if I click back on it again, it goes back to the screen. It's very clever, this bit. Then we've got this one, the carnivore. So this animal is a lion. It only eats meat. So have a look, its incisors, it still has incisors. It's got these ginormous canines. Okay, we talked about that yesterday, about what that does. Incisors bite, canines tear. So thinking about the meat and the animals, it's trying to catch animals, it's trying to chew and like rip bits of meat off. And then it's got some very small little premolars, and it's got some big, very spiky, not very kind of grindy teeth, but they're there as well, potentially for when it goes for a big bite, maybe. Okay, so have a think again about the food that they would eat and its diet and how the teeth work for that. So finally, we've got a human skull here, and we've got the incisors, the canines, the premolars, and the molars. They're all kind of the same depth, I suppose, of height. And again, think about the diet we have. So we need to have teeth for plants, for tearing meat, for grinding up, so for chopping, for tearing, and for grinding. So we need all of those. Okay, so back to here. I think here we go. So your task 1 is on your sheet or on the website, wherever you're getting your questions from, but you could just use this page here. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut those skulls out and stick them into your book when you're doing the questions. The questions, try to give a bit of a full answer so that it's clear for the adult who are marking it, because obviously we're doing it over the internet, it's quite tricky. Have a go at this question. So we've got question 1, name some teeth that all the skulls have. And again, it's quite tricky to see on here, but hopefully on your sheet or online you'll be able to see it a bit clearer. What similarities can you see between the herbivores? So, for example, the sheep and the elephant are both herbivores. What do you notice about them? Why do you think this is? And you've got the same question about the carnivores here. What similarities can you see between the carnivores? You've got a dog and a lion. And why do you think this is? Explain what differences you can see between the different animal skulls. So what do we notice between all of them? What do each of these animals eat? So does that impact how their teeth are? Number 6, why do you think these differences are important for their diet? And finally, number 7, what would happen if the tiger, oh, I don't know if I've written tiger, that should be lion. The lion had the sheep's teeth. I'll change that on your sheets before I send them out. What would happen if the lion here had the sheep's teeth? So how would that impact the lion's life, its diet, everything like that? What would happen? Okay, question number 2, sorry, task number 2. So I'm just going to make myself a note so I don't forget to do that. Tiger to lion. No, silly Mr. Davison. Okay, so you're going to be comparing teeth. So I've given a bit of leeway as to what you want to do. So create a fact sheet, a leaflet, a poster or a PowerPoint about how and what animals eat. So there I want you to think about, you could include these pictures of skulls that I've given you. You can include some of this information here, thinking about how their teeth are specific to their diet. So how do, for example, here you can see a lion with those huge big canines. How do those help it to catch meat, eat meat, things like that? The giraffe has, you can't really see them there, but it has those big molars. It might have some incisors and some molars. It doesn't need any canines. It's not going to do any ripping. Its incisors will cut the leaves, and then the big molars at the back will grind them up. And why is it that it's got those teeth? Okay, so here's an example of a fact sheet. If you wanted to, you could draw a picture, you could say what teeth it's got, some facts about it, and then here's quite a fun one. What would happen if animals had the same teeth? So imagine we had the same teeth as a lion. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Or the same teeth as a whale, perhaps. All these big, one thing I didn't know about elephants were these tusks are actually incisors. How strange. So yeah, that's an information sheet for you. Here's an example of a poster, and you're going to create some kind of fact sheet basically about how and what animals eat. So talking about their teeth and their diet. And that is it. So I'm going to close that one down. go back to here. And that is it for that lesson. Okay, there is something for further learning. I'll have a look at what it is actually, rather than saying I don't know what it is. Further learning for this lesson is to learn about the parts of the tooth. That doesn't seem right, does it? Yes, it is. The parts of the tooth. That's the extra learning, which I've already told you about. That's why I was confused. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that lesson, and I can't wait to see some of your posters.